Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Two Rivers Talks. We are the show that talks about all the really neat things going on in Two Rivers, whether you live here right now, whether you used to live here, want to keep up with what's been going on here in our fair city, or if you are thinking about moving here, you're going to get all the latest news, information, stuff about the arts, fun things going on, and it's summertime officially.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's here at last. And
today is the first day of summer.
It's the first day of summer.
Oh, thank you.
Happy summer.
You too.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're very glad you joined us, and we got a lot of exciting things on the show lined up for today. Today's episode, we're very pleased to be visited once again by Ms. Kate Jungwirth, who's the author of Mystery at Point Beach, which is actually a series. And this time she's going to be accompanied by her co-author, Debbie Erdmann. And since we last saw Kate, we've got the latest book in their series is out, book 3, Alien Invasion. And this young adult series has been published, and it's now going to be available in stores and online very soon.
Very soon. And just real quickly, she dropped off a copy for us a week and a half ago or so, and both Todd and I have had a chance to read it, and it was really cute.
It's very
so
sweet. Yeah.
At least we'll be able to have a decent interview with them because we actually read the book.
Yes.
I thought that was
We are hosts who read
a good
the book.
idea. Yeah.
We read the book.
We thumb through it.
As long as it's not like a phone book.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was an easy read. What was about maybe an hour and a quarter?
Oh yeah. Quick
Not a
read,
big deal.
great for I think like preteen kids, you know.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, but their humor is kind of
It's fun.
adults would appreciate it too because some of
Oh
them
yeah, I
they're
was laughing.
hysterical.
Yeah, I was laughing through the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah.
For our musical guest today, we have Vidas and Clark. They are making a return visit to us. They were on quite a while ago. Episode 1 we filmed back in October of 2018. So we've been doing this a while. This is episode 15. And I think that they probably were on maybe 7 or 8. Somewhere in there. It was a while.
It was a while ago.
And on their visit this time, they're going to be playing some original tunes, which I'm really excited to hear because these guys are so talented.
They're very good.
And then, of course, we're happy to have back with us Mr. Roger Rusov, who is going to be doing our Main Street Minute segment.
Yeah.
So,
with no further ado, let's jump into the day's news. And but first we have a new segment, Word of the Day. Today's word of the day is, am I going to say it right? Ululate. Ululate. Ululate.
very good. Ululate.
It's like, did you ever watch the show Xena Warrior Princess?
Yes.
You know, she would ululate.
Exactly.
Because it was, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's to utter howling sounds, as in shrill, wordless rejoicing or lamentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Ululate.
Ululate.
There. If you say it slow, then you don't sound so stupid like I did.
Like I did. Anyways,
You did pretty good.
we're here to enimify you. So
That will be next episode's word of the day. Anyway, let's
to
jump
the news,
in
right?
with both
Here we
feet
go.
into
Yes,
the news.
both
So,
feet.
you want to take it away?
Okay. We'll start out today by giving a shout out to the Hello Lakeshore podcast. This is broadcasted weekly, and the hosts chat with different nonprofits in the Lakeshore area about numerous effective organizations that work hard to help those in need. And they also talk with local, everyday people who embody the spirit of our beautiful area.
Right.
And it's great to have another voice out in the community. And welcome to the neighborhood, guys. Maybe you'll want to come on the show at some point and talk a little bit about your show.
And I don't know how long they've been doing it. I just happened to come across them. Down in the show notes, I do have a link to them. So maybe they've been around a while and we just never heard of them. I'm not sure. But I haven't had a chance to check them out yet, but I'm going to.
Darla, tell me about Zoo Camp.
Oh, okay. All right. When I get back, I'll let you know all about it. Lincoln Park Zoo offers zoo camps this summer. They'll be having a camp focused on diets so the kids can learn about how the animals get fed and why both zoo and farm animals are important to us. Mm-hmm. There will also be an enrichment camp where campers will make toys for the animals. Finally, a classification camp will allow kids to learn about the different kinds of animals and why they are split up into different species.
So there's diet camp, what animals eat.
Mm-hmm.
There's enrichment camp, and there's classification camp.
Right.
3 camps.
I believe so. I believe it's just the 3.
Okay.
And Manitowoc's Lincoln Park Zoo is open daily this summer from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I haven't been over there since my kids were small.
I've been over there.
Have you?
Yeah, within the past couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat.
It's a neat place to go.
It's surprising to have a city zoo in a city the size of Manitowoc.
Right.
Which is, Manitowoc County cities punch above their weight. We really do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Not below the belt.
No, we don't do
Okay.
that. No. In other news, the Shipbuilders Credit Union has donated $10,000 to Manitowoc's AmVets Post 99. So the credit union has announced that they're going to be supporting Post 99 with a $10,000 donation towards their campaign to construct a more accessible and functional facility to serve the needs of our local veterans.
Right.
And AmVet's mission is to enhance and safeguard the entitlements for all American veterans who have served honorably and to improve the quality of life for them, their families, and the communities where they live through leadership, advocacy, and services. So, great donation for a great organization.
I know. I was really happy when I came across that article, and I thought that was way worth mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to Shipbuilders Credit Union, thank you very much for caring. Just wanted to, we typically don't talk about anything that's, this we kind of do. We try and keep this kind of light and fluffy and, and not really get into
business focus, though,
it is,
right?
This is business focused. A little bit later on, it isn't so much. So you'll have to forgive me. It's too bad.
Uh-oh. I'm afraid.
Be afraid, be very afraid. But steady home sales for Manitowoc County. Oh, and Travis Stevens was in here earlier.
Okay.
And I told him we were going to be talking about this.
Okay.
And he's pumped up. He's doing,
Really?
with the real estate market and everything's really cool.
That's
But
good
anyway,
news.
for home sales have held very steady against last year's numbers, while sale prices have increased significantly. The Wisconsin Realtors Association released statewide statistics on real estate transactions so far this year. This, I think, is really interesting. Statewide sales increased in May after 2 months of decline, and prices rose accordingly. May sales rose 3.2% against last year.
That's good.
But this is the neat part. The median price rising by 9.1%.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
huge.
very significant. Yeah.
So it's definitely a seller's market right now because there's very few homes to go around. People are looking and the stuff's not available. So if you're thinking about selling your home, this might be the time to get into the market because you can do pretty darn well.
Worth thinking about. Breaking news, everyone. This just in. We'll edit that out. Okay. So this is from chehafernews.com. Apparently, the Two Rivers Hotel project, the Cobblestone, it has received a $250,000 state grant. So this just came in this morning, really. It's a grant in the form of $250,000, in the amount of $250,000. And wow, this is big print for breaking news. I didn't know that.
It's big news.
Yeah. Anyways, to help the development of a new downtown hotel, City Manager Greg Buckley tells Sea Hafer News the Community Development Investment Grant from WEDC will support the construction of a cobblestone hotel and suites. Mr. Buckley added that it's the final piece of financing for the $6.3 million project, which the city and Two Rivers Hotel Group LLC have been working on for over a year. This is big news, folks. The city manager calls the 55-room, 4-story hotel a very critical part of downtown redevelopment, which will be located on the former Settinger Hardware block overlooking the harbor.
And we are going to talk about that more here as we go down, into city news.
Excellent.
So, but this just happened with this grant. So, I mean, things are coming along. I know there's a lot of people out there who they think that things are dead in the water or...
Oh, the naysayers.
Right.
For whom I have zero patience, by the way.
Right.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's so easy to believe everything you hear. And I think don't. Find out the facts. And that's why I wanted to focus on the hotel a little bit. And see, that this is what I'm talking about, is I wanted to stay out of the city's business, on this show. But this is really, really good stuff, and I think it's good information to disseminate to the people in the community so you actually know what's happening.
This is a big deal. Having a modern hotel in the middle of downtown Two Rivers, for the events that go on every summer, for things like the Waste News event with the Woodtype Museum, for other things that can be held here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just gives us capacity to do a lot more in the city.
Right. So that's the breaking news.
Broken.
You're going to pick that up later.
Okay. Yes,
all right. I just vacuumed. Anyway, and then in state news, Wisconsin unemployment rate is at 2.8% for the second straight month in May. The U.S. unemployment rate in May was 0.8 higher than Wisconsin's at 3.6%. And I just wanted to mention that, so we're at a 2.8. Home prices are going up. Sell your home and make a profit. And by the way, the Dow Jones Industrial average closed yesterday at 26,753. So our economy is going gangbusters.
You're doing pretty well.
And we're doing good in this city, and we will continue on with our script and talk about that more.
Sounds good. This is very interesting.
You get stuck with the weird stuff.
International news here. Wisconsin is going to host a delegation of cheese buyers from the Middle East. Okay. Thank you, Darla. Wisconsin may be the dairy state of the United States, but our influence can be felt across the world. It's the cheese effect. Nearly a dozen prospective cheese buyers from 5 Middle Eastern countries will travel to Wisconsin later this month for a multi-day international cheese buyers mission, showing the state's cheese and dairy industries. The cheese buyers from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, UAE, Kuwait, Lebanon, and Qatar will experience a 360 view of Wisconsin's dairy industry. They'll get to experience tours of cheese-making plants, meet with dairy industry leaders, tour a dairy farm, and attend a mini trade show where the buyers will meet one-on-one with Wisconsin cheese-making companies and exporters. I mean, it's a good thing. It is. I'm being a little facetious, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Apparently, two Middle Eastern food bloggers are going to be with the delegation and will share details of the Wisconsin experience with their readers. Welcome, Middle Eastern cheese bloggers.
Right.
We're glad you're with us.
Well, and I thought this was really interesting personally because I mean, we're all sitting on a pale blue dot, and as
Carl Sagan, yeah,
right.
Very good.
And the thing is, you notice in the United States, especially, it's finally come into our area, to the Midwest, and you see it over in Manitowoc, where we're starting to see more international types of foods for restaurants. It's working the other way too, because over there, they are not just eating shawarma. They're eating, They
want a wider palette of foods
Exactly.
available, and I totally get that.
So
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool, just international trade and all that.
Yeah.
And
it'd be great to get a Middle Eastern restaurant in Manitowoc
I
County, by the
know.
way, too. for you entrepreneurs out there thinking of starting a restaurant.
There's a lot of different
Yeah.
cuisines that we could have that people who, you know, a couple of years ago, who ever thought we would have sushi?
This is true.
You know, and people love sushi. Well, there's other types of food that if you haven't had them, if you do, you're gonna love them. So try everything you possibly can. And I did want to mention that I made sure that I put the breaking news there, so that you would know.
Oh, that
was on purpose.
It's very devious of you, Ms. LeClair.
I'll take the weird one next time.
Okay.
But I get the announcement.
Well, that's great because
Which
you
makes
deserve
sense.
this announcement. Yes,
Right.
this is awesome news.
I just want to announce that Basil Ishkabibble's, this art gallery, Basil's first birthday bash, yes, it's been a year, will be on Saturday, July 13th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It is open to the public. And we're going to have entertainment by the Roadhouse Drifters.
Great guys.
Yeah, Mr. Noodleman and Mr. Jones.
Yep.
And we'll have light refreshments and birthday cake. And everybody is invited. Come on in, get some refreshments, take a look around, talk with me for a while. But we've been here, right now we're just shy of a year. But I think that, but we've done really well, you know, for just 1 year in.
It's been an honor to be your friend on this journey.
Oh,
really.
thank you.
Because, you know, I was excited when you said you were going to open a place. And then when you opened it much faster than I had anticipated, and I came in, I was blown away by what a cool studio you've created here.
Thank you.
And gallery, and it continues to get like all kinds of new local artists here.
Oh yeah.
That just do amazing work, and you've enabled the arts in this community, and so it's a true impact on the city, and so
I'm glad.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, I'm finally starting to feel that maybe I actually have. You know, I'm getting.
You actually have.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy because, you know.
All you got to do is walk through Central Park, and you can see.
Oh yeah.
The impact that you've had
Oh,
on
yeah.
the arts. You know, here in Two Rivers, and not just Two Rivers, but in the county.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. Oh, and get your art on. Everybody has it in them. Any kind of art, whether it's music or visual art, or if you're a funny person, you know, because that's an art form too. So, oh, and I got a surprise for you, Todd.
What?
What? I was looking at the analytics for Two Rivers Talks YouTube.
Okay.
And I thought this was kind of interesting. I'll start off with the lighter, less interesting stuff, but it's still kind of cool as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
In the last 28 days, our new page likes has gone up 1,400%.
Nice.
I thought that
That's
I've
not
never
a bad
seen.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes. And our post engagements and reaches has gone up 22%.
Oh, that's great.
And then our views right now, year to date, 3,388 views.
Very nice.
Subscribers, we are up to 39. We would love for more people to subscribe. Our viewers, only 62.9% of our viewers live in the United States. 37.1% of our viewers live in other countries.
Wow.
So anyway, it makes me wonder if we have military personnel who are from the Two Rivers area, or have family here. Maybe they're watching it from other countries.
That would be great.
I do know that some of my acquaintances really like this show, and they're like over in Yemen, or they're over in Iraq. So they're actually watching us.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because also in the analytics, you can also find out if people had to use subtitling.
Oh, sure.
But I forgot to look it up.
It gets back to that pale blue dot
Exactly.
that you made reference to earlier. That, I mean, we're here locally, but it's a very global community, and there are people across the world who maybe came from here or have an interest in here,
Right.
and they get a little taste of home by tuning into the show.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we're able to provide that. So thank you. Thank you for watching.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
That's a nice surprise.
I thought that would kind of blow your socks off, because I was shocked when I saw it.
Well, and that was our YouTube stats.
Right.
We've got different stats that come in for Facebook as well.
Right.
And I know that we're getting about 2,000-3,000 views on each of the videos that come through too.
Yeah,
So
things are going very, very well.
So we don't take that for granted. We really do appreciate everybody watching the show and tuning in and leaving comments and likes and sharing with friends, and we'll keep it up as long as you will have us in your
we are
home
getting
or
better.
on your phone, right? We're getting better and better every day in every way.
Yeah,
right?
kind of,
Right.
sort of. Anyway, okay, so
Thank you, Darla.
Oh, you are welcome. City calendar and updates. Take it away.
Yes, so the Two Rivers City Council is going to be meeting on Monday, July 1st at 6 p.m. At the council chambers on the 3rd floor of City Hall. If you haven't been there before, it's a really nifty little place. And the agenda is going to be posted up online, and it also streams live on Facebook. But you should go there in person because government is cool.
It is, and
Yeah.
that's when you have your opportunity to speak.
Yeah.
Is if you
Exactly.
show up.
Right.
I'm not going to get into that because I get very passionate and emotional.
I know you do.
Yes. Getting back to the downtown hotel project, the cobblestone, City Council approved, this was on Monday, City Council approved a development agreement at a special meeting on June the 11th. No, it was June the 11th. It wasn't Monday. Sorry about that. Which includes terms for sale of city properties, TID 12 grant, WEDEC CDI grant. Equity investment from area investors has been confirmed. Community First Credit Union has approved private financing. And I like this. Per the development agreement, City Council has approval authority over exterior design and site plan.
That's very interesting.
It's
So that
very
means sort of
interesting.
preserving the character of our downtown, and
we will
Yeah.
have some control as to how this is going to
Yeah.
fit into our community.
I think that's important.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking about the image of the city here and what the brand of Two Rivers is.
Exactly.
Not to be too highfalutin about it, but I think
We have to be careful about that as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Also dealing with the appearance of our downtown, the Downtown Holiday Lighting and Decoration Committee has identified a preferred lamp post garland and wreaths to be placed along the entire length of Washington Street from the bridge all the way up to 22nd Street. So if you are so minded, please contribute generously to the fundraising effort. Donations will be handled through Two Rivers Main Street. So contact Mr. Roger Russo at Two Rivers Main Street if that's of interest to you.
Right. And I've seen the designs, or what they've kind of
too.
settled on.
They look good.
Really, really nice.
Yep.
So so a big thank you to the committee, because that was they had to go through some
Absolutely.
gyrations to look at everything and get the pricing and
It's a lot of work.
and all
right?
that. So, and then just a reminder that the 4th of July fireworks celebration is coming up. Join us in celebrating Independence Day at Walsh Field with family activities including bouncy houses, games, concessions, and more. The flag raising ceremony is scheduled for 7:20 p.m., followed by the community band concert, sponsor appreciation,
Yay.
and this I really enjoy, a patriotic sing-along, and community-sponsored fireworks spectacular.
Fun times.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And our next upcoming Two Rivers Biz Starts is going to be on Wednesday, July the 24th at 6 p.m. at the Leicester Public Library, per usual. The topic is going to be on finding a mentor for your business startup, and we're very excited. Mr. Patrick Snyder, who is the Executive Director for Biz Starts, the overarching organization in Wisconsin, is going to be visiting from Milwaukee to talk a little bit about Biz Starts resources, including their excellent virtual mentoring program. So if you are a new business owner or you're thinking of starting a business, this would be a great one to show up at, guys.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you there.
I think it's nice he's coming up from Milwaukee, and
He's a good guy. Yeah.
I know you've worked with him closely, getting Two Rivers Biz Starts going, and it just it's nice to have the support from him.
It is. It's a nice
You
state level resource to get help.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Leicester Public Library is closed on July the 4th. For adults, upcoming events include Chess Club, Strictly Fiction Book Club, Card Making Club, and Tech Tuesday. For teens, recurring events, Book Nerds for the middle schoolers, and
Book Nerds.
for the high schoolers, and
Henna tattooing.
yeah. And for the
We're
youth,
done now.
what's coming up?
We've got First Step, Space Rangers. I love that.
Yeah.
Baby Garden and Sharing the Stars.
Yeah, and I looked out farther on the calendar. There's an astronaut training program.
That's so cool.
Or something along those lines.
Really nice.
Yeah,
Really
so
nice.
there's fun things going on at the library for people of all ages. Speaking of all ages, at the Two Rivers Senior Center, Discover Dubuque, Iowa trip is going to be on July 22nd through July 24th.
Fun.
3 days, 2 nights, includes 2 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 2 dinners, taste testings and sampling, admissions, hotel, and motor coach. The highlights include Stonecliff Winery lunch. That sounds good to me. Tour and sampling. Oh, they're going to drink their way through the South.
That's what it sounds like.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium. And they will visit Our Lady of the Mississippi Abbey, Convivium Urban Farmstead, historic progressive dinner at 3 locations to include Verena Street Coffee. At 3 locations. Sorry about that. Verena Street Coffee Tour and Tasting, Betty Jane Candy, Fenelon Place Elevator, American Yacht Lunch, and Sightseeing Cruise, and more.
They've got a lot.
I know.
into that trip. That's going to be a good time for them.
I'm tired just reading it.
Yeah. Hopefully they take a lot of pictures and send them back our way.
We should start asking them to do that, and then we can kind of like do a little
We'll
montage.
post them up and do something for them.
Sure.
And then there are some recurring events, of course, at the Senior Center, including yoga, sheep's head, Zumba Gold, and bingo.
And we still need to get over there in our gold
I
pants.
know we do. I know we do.
Who wants to get up that early?
I know.
They get up way too early
Well,
for
I'm
me.
up pretty early, but I just
I'm
don't know I'm
not.
up for Zumba Gold at that hour.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to motivate each other. Because I bought the pants. We got to use them.
The pants.
We have to.
Therefore, I must go because I have the
Exactly.
pants. Right? Okay.
For Two Rivers Parks and Rec, reminder: Pro-Am Beach Soccer National Qualifier will be coming up in July. It's going to be July 13th through the 14th. On the 13th, it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. On the 14th, and everything kind of ends at noon. The location, of course, is going to be on Neshota Beach. There's going to be 50 plus more soccer teams that will converge upon Two Rivers for this first annual Wisconsin qualifier. And registration is now open, and the link is down in the show notes.
Yeah, and just want to say, for those of you visiting Two Rivers, maybe for the first time, welcome. And we're glad you're here. And by the way, since it's on the 13th, which is also the Basil Ishkabibble's birthday party,
Oh, yeah.
maybe you guys should come on in, like take a break from the soccer, come on in, have a piece of birthday cake, and check out the gallery here.
Oh, that's a good
It's a
idea.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Plug.
Yeah.
Family Night is also coming up. That's July 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at Washington Park. And you'll be able to get your hot dogs and soda there.
Hot dogs.
Get your hot dog. Get your red hots. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm here for
I'm
you.
owly today. And then also for the Two Rivers Central Park concert series, bands on Neshota Beach, community band concerts in Central Park, and kids night events. Visit the website, the Two Rivers Parks and Rec website, for more information. I'm not going to sit here and give you dry dates and
Yeah,
times
lots of good stuff.
because they have all of this posted, and it is chock full.
Yeah. And soon, maybe soon, we'll be able to talk a little bit about an events calendar
Yes.
for the city.
Oh,
That,
please get that done
little
so I don't
teaser-
have to
little
take
teaser.
days.
We're working on something. So stay tuned. You'll hear about it here. Maybe first. Anyways.
Well, maybe.
Finally, the Woodland Dunes Nature Center and Preserve is having a nature grossology summer. You heard it right, grossology. Thank you, Darla. Friday, July 12th at 12:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. Animal poop and slime. Make this camp a guaranteed gross but awesome time. Learn about some of the yuckiest things animals do to survive. This camp is full of nature exploration, observation, and hands-on activities. No, thank you.
Wear gloves.
Yeah. Bring disinfectant. Campers will make an icky creation to take home. All right. Ages 7 to 11, please. Members, it's $20. Non-members, it's $30. You can register online for this Grossology event. It sounds awesome, actually.
It does. It really does. All right.
That's all we've
I
got.
apologize. I didn't think I'd be guffawing in front of everybody. But stay tuned, and Mr. Russov will be here with us, and we will do our Main Street Minute segment. So stay right where you're at.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're at that point in the show where we have our guest, Mr. Raj Russov, on from Two Rivers Main Street, and we know there's a lot of exciting happenings you've brought for us this week. There are always exciting happenings, but you've got some particularly interesting things going on.
I do. The first thing I want to talk about a little bit is our next upcoming event on July 27th is the 5th annual Brew Dash. Now, this combines a little bit of exercise. It's a 5K run walk. That starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday the 27th, and then moves into a couple hours of beer sampling.
Probably good that they happen in that order.
Yes.
Because otherwise there'd be more walking and crawling and running involved, I would expect.
We wouldn't want to have to take a van out on the route and pick people
Right.
up and then take them back to their cars downtown so they can drive home.
And that's kind of counterintuitive as to when we do yoga in the gallery. It's supposed to be yoga and then the wine drinking, but everybody's always like, let's drink the wine first.
To go to the yoga.
And then I had one lady who got down on the ground. Well, she'd already been somewhere else. And she got down on the ground. She starts rolling from side to side. I feel so flexible.
Wow.
We have a really, really good time. So, but
Kudos
it's
to the
wise,
planners
it's
then,
wise
yeah.
to do
I
it
think
that
you need
way.
video clips of that.
I shall do that next time because it's just funny. But I can see you having to pick people up off the, scrape them off the floor and bring them back.
Yeah, we don't. They have no access to beer until after they've participated in the run.
Wisdom.
It's you in the back of a pickup truck and they have to run after
Yeah,
you.
they're trying to catch me. Ooh, I like that idea.
Got your beer?
Well, they are dashing.
Faster.
We get some new record times that way.
Beer only to the first 50 finishers.
Ooh,
Everybody else goes thirsty. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
These are amazing motivators. We should be writing this down.
It's your motivational portion
yes,
of it.
yes.
Okay.
No, we do give special medals to the first 50 finishers. This year, it's a really cool beer bottle shaped medal that also acts as a bottle opener.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But we'll have Copper State Brewery is going to be here. Noble Roots Brewery is going to be here. Something new this year, they reached out to me that I think is going to be really cool. The Manti Malters Home Brewing Club is coming.
Neat.
Now, they're not allowed to sell beer because they don't have the proper equipment to make it and licenses and things, but they can give it away all they want.
Okay.
And this is a great way for them to promote the club and maybe get more participation and things like that. So they'll be here, and I don't know what they're going to bring. I don't know how many beers they're going to bring, but it's a cool opportunity to sample some different stuff, and it's a great time. It really is. And right now, until the end of end of June, you can still register for $35. Your $35 includes the run walk, a t-shirt, and the beer sampling. After that point, it goes up to $45 until the day of the event when it's $50. So before July 1st, get on there and register.
And what was the date of the event again?
July 27th is Saturday, July 27th is the event.
Okay.
It starts and ends right in front of City Hall. And then we have a tent set up in the park for the beer tasting. And if you're not inclined to do the run walk, for $15, you can get the sampling glass and sample beer without doing the exercise portion of the event.
Always a choice, right? Yes.
Yes. And we will have food here from Brian's Smokehouse in Manitowoc.
Okay.
So after people get done running and enjoy a little bit of beer, they can have some great food to go with it too.
Very good. Very
Fantastic. In this club that you're talking about, this Brewing Club, How many people do they have in it? Do you have any ideas?
I believe they have about 20 members.
Okay.
And the gentleman that I talked to said, don't be surprised if we show up with a dozen different beers or so for people to taste.
So cool.
Oh, yeah.
You're not close. You're not turning them away. So.
No,
Oh,
no. The more the merrier from that standpoint.
Yeah.
I just, it'll be good exposure for them, and that's what people come here to do. They come here to, they want to try different beers. That's some stuff they never had before.
Well, and what I love about this is, and this happens with so many of the events that you come and tell us about, is that you just continue to sort of add more creativity and new things to them over time. It's really great to see, and I think it just speaks to the vibrancy of what we're trying to do here in the city.
Thanks. We have so many people that have brought every one of them so far, and they love the beer sampling, of course, but they really like the route because the route takes them down along the beach. Mm-hmm. So they get to experience that. It's early enough in the morning at 9 o'clock that theoretically anyways, it's not going to be stiflingly hot and the beach isn't going to be overcrowded, but people like going through the park there and seeing the beach and things like that. It's just a terrific route for an event like that.
Beautiful area, beautiful. That's going to keep your interest. I mean, that can be motivational where you're exercising or running, Having to do PT out in the desert was a drag, but with this, I could see running through, looking at trees and, little happy squirrels and, sorry, too much caffeine. You're usually happy around here. It is Two Rivers.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's great. So now, are you still looking for some volunteers for that event?
No.
Possibly,
I asked for a friend.
Sure. That's one of those events that we've had the same group of people that's been involved with it since it started. So I don't want to say it's self-managing, mm-hmm. but because we've had people that have been in the same roles for a long time, it's a fairly easy event for me from an office standpoint to deal with. Mm-hmm. And we'll probably need some volunteers that morning, but we usually have a good group of them. And I should mention, because I can do that on here, that the sponsor of the event this year is the Medicine Shop.
Oh, super.
And it's
here on Washington Street.
Right down the street, a couple blocks. And of course, the Medicine Shop is a franchise type business, but it's locally owned by a gentleman who is a past president of Two Rivers Main Street's board of directors, Mark Moore. And he was really instrumental in getting the event off the ground here, and still stays involved in it. And people like that, because Marv is frankly a lot better organized than I am in some ways. People like that make events like that a lot of easier to put on and be a lot of fun to put on. So,
that's great.
Who are some of the other people who are like the core group?
Teresa Croncourse of Traders and her husband Nathan from White Cap Insurance Agency have been involved from day one. Some of the other regular volunteers that may not be committee members would include Dave Dassey, that works at City Hall, one of the IT guys at City Hall, volunteers every year.
Oh, cool.
David Byrell, who works for Marv at the Medicine Shop.
Okay.
My daughter's boyfriend has been involved. He loves coming down here. He'll do just about anything I ask him to do.
He's trying to get on your good side.
Yes, he is. I always give him the threat. You need to do this. You sleep with my daughter.
Oh.
His eyes get big. Yes, sir.
It's kind of like that, yeah. So it's a group of people like that are here every year that jump in. Everybody kind of knows their roles when they get there that Saturday morning, and things go pretty smoothly, and everybody has a lot of fun.
Very nice.
Thanks.
And what else is coming up?
Well, let's move out of events a little bit here and talk about some other things that are going on downtown, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
First, I'll mention, and this was something we talked about briefly because of timing on the last show, Screamin' Conuts is open.
Yeah.
This is our new ice cream shop at the corner of 12th and Washington Street.
It's run by Emily Ristigan.
Emily Ristigan, yes, who is currently a past board member of Two Rivers Main Street. Mm-hmm. Emily graduated from high school early and took this endeavor on, and she's been open for a couple weeks, and she's doing very well. People seem to like the place a lot. It looks great on the outside. It looks great on the inside. And if you haven't experienced a Conut yet, go do it because they're pretty neat.
Right. Mm-hmm. I was going to go over there the other day, and then I happened to notice on Facebook that this is right when she opened, that she had to limit her hours because of inventory. There was such an interest that she didn't want to run out. So when I was going to be able to go I wasn't able to, but I want to see the way her machine works that makes the cones.
It's really neat. It's very hard to describe,
Right.
you know, but it's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And I know that when she first started talking about this, these were only available at one place in the United States. It's a European creation. They were only available at one place in New York. Now, I'm not saying that she's a second. There could be other places that have them, but it's not a real common thing to find in this country. And it's pretty cool. You know, she's serving all Cedar Crest ice cream, which of course has great local ties and 16 different ice cream flavors to choose from. And you can create enough different combinations that you could probably go there every day for, I don't know, 6 months without having the same thing twice.
Nice.
Do you think maybe she's the only one in Wisconsin?
I would say very strongly that she's probably the only one in Wisconsin.
She's cornering a market. Even if there is another one, it might be on the other side of the state.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is something that's really unique and people are going to want to go to when they get here.
And this is, I get excited about this because, being a big enthusiast for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship.
yeah.
I mean, this is somebody bringing forward the vision of an original kind of idea into our community, and not just yet another whatever kind of restaurant. Or,
Same old, or just,
This is something with a twist on it that is actually going to be prone to attract people here. And the bright, cheerful-looking building down there in the corner. Say what you will about the color pink. It's actually a really cool building, and it looks good.
I think now that it's all done, I truly think it looks great, and it looks great on the inside.
Yeah.
She has outside seating, so on warmer days like today, you can get your ice cream, go sit outside on the deck. There's tables and chairs out there. It's such a comfortable atmosphere.
Right.
It really is.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Stare at the lake. I mean, her view is
It's really great.
really nice.
Yes. Yes.
How about her walls? Has she started putting up any artwork that you're aware
She has a few things up,
Okay.
and that was a pretty leading question there, Darla.
Gee, I wonder where she can get some artwork.
When we held our no, there's a story that you may not be aware
I'm
of.
not being cut
I didn't think you were.
now I can see. Oh yeah, well, no, it's not like that. But he'll tell the story.
When we held the auction for the paintings, the canvases from the Art in Central Park project, Darla's husband Bill purchased an adorable painting of an ice cream sundae and a little girl with pigtails with big wide eyes staring at this ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
And they got it home, and Darla kind of said, well, we don't really have anywhere to put this. So Darla offered to donate it to Emily to put in her shop.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a perfect fit in there, and
It's pink.
yes, and she has a cute little pink wall that's got a white mural kind of thing drawn on it.
Yeah, I
but
saw
she's done a
that.
really nice job
Yeah.
with the building overall,
nice.
and it took her an awful lot of time, and I'm sure as in just about every case like this, quite a bit more money than she expected it would, because that's how those things go. But
right.
but the place looks great inside and out, and I'm thrilled for her. And it is. It's cool, and although it's not a traditional ice cream sundae, you can get an ice cream sundae there because she makes a cylinder type donut, if you want to call it that, and cuts it in half and puts it in a dish.
Okay.
She'll fill it with whatever lining they call it that you want in it, and then your scoops of ice cream, and it's awesome.
That sounds so
It's
great.
awesome. Yes,
Yeah.
I now picture some of my lunches being Casa Mexico or Kurtz's, and then ice cream for dessert.
Oh,
at
my
lunch,
Yeah.
That's probably not going to do my waistline any good.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll have to run
what?
into Brew
She'd be very
Dashes.
happy.
Yeah,
Who are you trying to impress anymore
Yeah.
anyway?
yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
I'll die in 5 years with a smile on my face, right?
Cold
All right,
wine.
here we go. There's the morbidity for today's show.
Live well, die young.
And leave a smiling corpse.
That's
going.
right,
That's right.
Now she's got some media appearances coming up then too.
She does. She's going to be. You should be hearing a segment that she's doing with WOT Radio in the not too distant future. Next Friday, I hope that Channel 26 will go there. They're coming down to do some coverage for the car show, as well as Channel 5 will be here on Friday morning, car show weekend too. So we have a lot of media things going on in town in general. And coming up July 24th, and I'm not sure where this is going to go yet, but the Wisconsin Main Street office is doing a Wisconsin Main Street Day. And they're going to be sending media outlets all over the state to Main Street communities to promote exciting news and things going on in the communities. And I'm hoping that that a ribbon cutting at Screaming Coconuts can be included as part of that. And I'm also hoping, and finally we can really talk about this like it's going to happen. Just recently a press release came out announcing a $250,000 grant, which was really the last piece of the puzzle for the hotel.
We talked about that, yeah.
Coming to Two Rivers, and I'm hoping that on July 24th, when we do a ribbon cutting at Screaming Coconuts, we can do a groundbreaking at the hotel location on the same day.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep
Yes.
us up to date on that, because then we can get out there and we can get some footage. Oh, that would be tremendous.
Absolutely. The hotel project obviously is something that's taken a long time, and now to see to finally know that the end is in sight
Right.
and it's going to start is going to be a great thing for everybody. I mean, it's an uplifting thing to see investment like that in the community. It's a sign that good things are happening and more good things are coming, and I can't wait until they break ground, and I can't wait until they get done, and we'll have a great new place, and within easy walking distance of downtown, that for downtown events and things like that. Another place for people to stay
It's
here in
perfect.
Two Rivers. Nothing against having them go stay in Manitowoc, but we'd much rather have them stay here,
Right.
supporting the restaurants and bars and the shops and everything downtown. Going to be great for everybody. It really is.
Yeah, and a nice visible sign of the prosperity that's come to the city as a result of a lot of effort on a lot of people to make that happen. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's been I want to say that was probably 3 years ago that I first had that Greg and I first had that discussion.
Right.
And I'm tremendously excited. It's a great location. There's going to be rooms with great views out over the Coast Guard station and the joining of the rivers and the river's outlet to the lake face it. Now we're going to have you could say 3 hotels in Two Rivers between there. Obviously the Lighthouse Inn, spectacular location. And even Village Inn, most of the rooms at the Village Inn. You've got a great view of the lake. A line that Greg Buckley, our city manager, uses all the time is turning our face back to the water. Well, you know what?
Yep.
You can do it anywhere around here during the day, and now we're going to have 3 great places where you can do it at night too.
Do you need some golden shovels for the groundbreaking?
I don't know yet. I'll let you know as we move along.
You got a line on golden shovels?
Perhaps. I have a couple ideas going through my head.
Uh-oh.
I shovel a lot of stuff.
Please clean them well before you loan them to us.
What else is going on, Roger?
Well, briefly, I'll mention the next big downtown event that'll be coming up then. Of course, in first Friday in August, we have Community Care Day and Maxwell Street Day downtown. September 21st, Ethnic Festival. Great entertainment lineup. Everything from, now I have to remember this
I was
stuff.
going to say.
And it's quite a variety. Our headliner this year is a group from the Milwaukee area called Angel Melendez and the 911 Mambo Kings. This is a Grammy-nominated Latin American, 8-piece Latin American group.
They sound amazing.
Oh, and they do sound amazing. I've gone on YouTube and watched some videos and stuff, and they're really good.
Yeah.
And a variety of things. We have a Czech choral group coming, and I was unprepared to talk.
Well,
that's okay.
But it's
You can find out
2
all
stages
about it
on the website.
on
2 stages of entertainment, 7 different acts. We've got a good quantity of new food vendors coming this year that we haven't had here before.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite days in downtown Two Rivers.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
It is a good
I'm
time.
looking forward to
Me
it.
too.
I really am. I have such a good time at Ethnic Fest.
Yes, Darla has been our MC and our stage greeter and our MC and done a great job at that, and
Thank
has
you.
already offered to do it again this coming year.
Oh yeah, I got dibs.
You got
I had a
dibs?
blast last year. I really did.
Yeah.
Maybe what we should think about. And Darla, I don't want to step on your toes,
Okay.
but we could have a dual act of MCs on stage. And it could be the two hosts of Two Rivers Talks.
What do you think, Darla?
I like that.
What is it, September 21st?
21st.
He's there.
Mark our calendars.
Please do.
We'll do it.
Mine's Mark.
All right.
I will mark yours for you.
Okay, very good. Keeps me in line.
Somebody
That's a
has
really
to.
good idea.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah. No, it sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
I
Get
love
some,
this thing.
It is
get some
fun.
footage of the two of you on stage to put on your show.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, that's inspired. Boy, you're smarter
Two
than
good
you
ideas
look.
today, I think.
Man, you're on fire.
Hey.
Oh, man, nice.
I'm done for the year. Sorry, done for the year. Main Street is now out of good ideas. No, that's unfair. Main Street will have good ideas. Roger is out of good ideas.
Right. Please leave a message at the town.
He's getting a donut.
Well, Roger, as always, this has been edifying. We're working on word of the day kind of stuff here.
Oh, okay. Should you need to define that for your audience, or?
Dictionary.com. Anyways, before we start ululating again.
Yes, that was our word of the day.
That was actually our real
ululate.
word of the day. We will thank you for coming on yet again and sharing all the goodness that's happening in downtown Two Rivers.
Thanks for the invite, as always.
All right, thanks, Roger. See you next time.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back with our musical guest, right?
No.
No, we're going to be right back with our...
We will be right back with Ms. Kate Jungwirth and Ms. Debbie Erdmann,
Yes.
who have written book 3 in the series of A Mystery at Point Beach.
Mystery Point Beach.
And this is book 3, and it's called Alien Invasion. So please stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us again today. And we have our special guest with us today. We have Ms. Debbie Erdmann, and we also have Ms. Kate Jungwirth.
Noted ufologists.
Ufologists?
Ufologists.
Ufologists.
Yeah.
They are co-authors of the book series called Mystery at Point Beach, and your third book, Alien Invasion, just was published. It's not in stores or online quite yet, but fairly soon.
It is. It's
Good.
available.
Oh, it
It
is
is
available
available
now.
now. Wonderful.
Far out. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to change the doobly-doo then. Okay. All right. But I want to say thank you for coming by. What was it, last week or a week and a half ago, and dropping the copy off for us.
We really
Because
enjoyed
we
it.
read it,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun. But I'm just really very pleased for you guys. I know that it is probably a lot of fun to write, you know, and so congratulations. And thank you for coming back. And I'm glad you could join us this time. And
We had such a great time reading the book.
Yeah.
And this is the third in your series, so congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And this is a great series for young adults, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so, we were eager to talk a little bit about the third book. And I don't know, did you have any questions about the first two books, or?
no,
Yeah. Why don't we'll just focus on the third.
we are going to just focus on the third because the people in our audience, if they would like to see the earlier
That's true.
interview
They can
that
tune
we
into the
did with
earlier
you,
episode,
they can hear
right.
about the first two books, which was Sunday Wars and Pirates Booty. See,
Very good.
I remember, I loved it. I'm not a young
Yeah, it was
adult,
fun.
but I found it very entertaining. So.
Adults like them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hearing that.
Oh, and I think it's your humor. You know, it's not way out there, but some of the things that you guys come up with, it's like, oh my God, that's hysterical. You know, so it kind of keeps our attention too, you know.
Right.
And these are gentle books. You know, they're like the characters are all very sweet and very relatable, and there's almost kind of like a timeless quality to it. Like I could picture these books being like I could have gotten out when I was a kid.
Mhm.
Like, and go to the library or go through Scholastic books or something and just kind of pick up and read them. They're just a lot of fun, you know, and so thank you for writing them.
And I know,
Yeah.
like, when I was that age, you know, the age group that you're writing for, I read all of the Nancy Drews. So you like that sense of mystery, but it's not so perplexing.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of just go along with the story and,
Yeah.
you know.
And there's a little bit of an edge. You play a little with the supernatural in this one, or sort of the UFO. Or what I was joking about the ufologist, crack a little earlier. But I mean, it's really fun. And the books almost remind me a little bit of. I was a big fan of John Belair's. It was I think a Michigan-based author who did House with the Clock in Its Walls, and sort of that tone of books. It's very evocative, and but I think your stuff is a little more accessible than his, because it's just it's a little less about the supernatural, more about sort of like solving real mysteries, and sort of the kids kind of learn a lesson along the way, or they get a little history about the area at the same time. So it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to just give us? See, it'd probably be a good idea if you sorry, that you tell our listener or our viewers what book number 3 is about, because if I
We don't
were
want to
to
give
attempt,
spoilers,
we
right?
would give it away.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I do have some things to interject. I was making notes as I was reading it. So if one of you would like to go ahead and tell us about the book.
Why don't we start with Kate, because Kate came up with the initial idea with the aliens, and she wrote out the plot line and
Yeah. Well, like kids, what do they like? They like pirates and they like aliens, and I just think of what kids enjoy. And then I try to link it to Two Rivers or the area, and I look into the history to see if anything kind of supernatural went around. And through the Historical Society newsletters, I found one person gave a talk about his encounter with a UFO.
Okay.
And it was really interesting, and he brought up that his dad thought it was swamp gas, so I'm like, okay,
Right.
we'll put that in the book. And just going from there also was a meteor, I don't know if you remember that went over Lake Michigan and landed in the lake, and people that I know, they said their apartment walls were rattling and stuff was falling off the walls, so there was a sonic boom, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well that
Really?
yeah. And you can look in the newspaper. So the newspaper said it was this green meteor, and
When was this?
meteorite.
Do you know? Like,
In the 60s? Or?
I think it's 2016.
Oh, okay.
It was recent.
Wow.
A little more recently,
Really
okay.
recent.
where were
Yeah.
we?
You
Oh, you
were
weren't in town
sleeping.
yet.
Probably
Well,
not.
no, I didn't even hear about
Yeah.
the occurrence.
It was in the middle of
You
the night, yeah.
Okay.
And it landed in the lake, and I don't know. So from there, the ideas just kind of grew.
Yeah, but the story of UFOs, I mean, that's kind of timely too, because there were some sightings recently out by Point
Right.
Beach.
And we talked about that.
Yeah, it was on
It
the
was-
recent show. Yeah.
It was episode 11, actually, and there had been an incident back in March.
Yeah.
And evidently, and they started calling it the Manitowoc Incident, even though it was not in Manitowoc.
Yeah.
And it had to do with the Lake Michigan Triangle, which goes between like Manitowoc, Ludington, and Benton Harbor.
Mhm.
So I just thought that was really cool, and I like the way it tied into an earlier episode. Because
It's
they're
all
out there.
connected. Yes, they're out there.
When you
Yeah.
research it, you can find out a lot of people that have seen things. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We found
there's a lot. Yeah.
And very reputable people too.
Yeah.
Like pilots, military personnel, cops.
Police officers, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, totally reputable. So
So we have lots of questions.
wait,
So-
maybe I shouldn't look at my notes because I want to interject. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue on.
That's all I can think of.
So then Kate started with that,
Okay.
and then I did some research, and a man that was born and raised in Two Rivers in the late 1800s, Herman Schlunt, worked with radium. He also worked with Marie Curie.
Yeah, that was a neat.
So I thought that was really interesting, and I found articles where he thought this was the fountain of youth. So that idea was working in the back of my mind, and then something that actually happened a few years ago, camping at Point Beach. There was a man in our backyard, so to speak, in the woods behind our campsite, with knee-high boots hunting for mushrooms. And so we talked to him, and very interesting guy. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking the mushrooms, the radium, the fountain of youth.
Yeah. It all fits.
So I
Yes.
said that in the story. I said to Kate, "What do you think about having this guy looking for mushrooms for the Fountain of Youth at Point Beach?" And so we kind of took our ideas and put them all together.
That's
and
fantastic.
that's what we
Okay.
came up with, so.
Because I'll tell you, because like you're reading along, it's like, how is all of this going to fit together? And
I know, we
You
wonder
know.
that too, don't we?
oh yeah, but it was so cool the way everything ended up. I must mention one word: truffles.
Oh,
Yes.
So, which I thought was inspired.
It was very good, yeah. And I mean, you guys really like. There are some moments in the book where there's just some really odd things happen, like and I don't think these are any big spoilers, but Dominic sees some strange stuff in the woods on more than one occasion as he's kind of looking through there, and like you do a double take on like this creature that he sees there, so it's kind of funny.
yeah.
Yeah, and it really is. There's some laugh out loud moments where they just kind of run into these bizarre things that are young super sleuths, and they really do come to some interesting conclusions by the end of it. Yeah.
You know what I think is kind of strange? It seemed like, well, in this book 3, you could tell that the kids have matured some. It's been a little while, and it seems like they're almost verging on being smarter than the adults. I'm starting to get that
They kind of have
sense.
to be, otherwise they probably wouldn't be allowed to do what they're doing.
Right.
So,
It's
I
like
don't know.
it's a free for all. And one thing I really enjoy with your book series is that in your previous books you mentioned like the marina, and you mentioned all these. I think Washington House was one, of course, for the Sundays. And with this one, you bring up Schrader's and Red Bank
And
talk about
unidentified flying objects.
right,
Yes, yeah.
which and that fits in perfectly. But I like the way that you talk about businesses and locations that actually exist. You didn't make them up. These are it is actually 2 rivers,
Yeah.
Right.
and
The
I
idea
love that.
is that the people reading the books can go to these places and be like, hey, yeah, they actually are, we can go there.
Well, it really grounds the stories, and I really appreciated just that you've clearly done research around the history of the area and things that had happened here, and so it gives sort of that feel of reality to the setting where these somewhat improbable young detectives, are able to solve mysteries and change the world for the better.
It's easier to write that way, I feel, because I like to write about things I know, places I know.
Yeah.
Some of the events in the book actually happened, and so
Right.
how easy is that to just weave that into the story?
Right.
So I think we do that a lot.
I know. And the thing is with like Pirate's Booty, I didn't realize that the one gentleman was based on an actual pirate. So when I was reading about Herman Schlunt, I got my phone out and I Googled him, and I was like, well, I'll be darned. So, there's a Two Rivers favorite son who was into something that was groundbreaking back in the day. And just so he was born on the 19th of July back in 1869.
Right.
I just had to throw that in because
Thank
I
you. I
took
went
the
to
time.
remember.
Yeah. And that was new to me. I mean, the radium connection I got because there were a lot of radium spas and stuff around Wisconsin, and even the Maribel Hotel was known for its waters and everything.
Oh, yes.
And we put
We
radium in
wanted
some
to
of those
throw in a
things.
nuclear plant because I thought, we could have like mutant Ninja Turtles, but
Yeah.
we were told, no, that's like not off
That's
limits.
not
That's dangerous, yeah.
Don't even bring that up.
Oh well.
We'll get in trouble. We'll get in trouble.
One thing that I know we've discussed before is that, and we've already talked about it a little bit, is the fact that there's really some really cool humor in the book. And you started it off in the prologue where you had me laughing. Earl was nearly startled out of his suspenders. And I read that and I was like, far out. I am
Cool.
hooked.
I didn't think of that as funny.
He was startled out of his suspenders.
Yeah.
Which isn't a good thing because they're holding stuff up and you don't want
Oh,
coming
yeah.
down.
I never thought about that.
And then another one that I wrote down I thought was funny. I wondered if Sadie's hair rollers were wound too tight. It was cute.
Yeah.
And then Ranger Rick to Sailor, step aside, Rainbow Bright.
You had some good lines. Yeah, you really did.
That was cool. And do you have the book? Oh, can you hand me the book really quick? Oh, because you have to show them your Venn diagram too,
Oh.
or whatever. it is.
I mapped your narrative. for you.
Yeah. We get into the.
Goodness.
Oh,
But
Whoa.
Is that going on in our heads? Like, what's
I
going
don't
on
know.
here?
I don't think I want
that
to
is
do
your
a
brain
poll.
right there.
That's probably more reflective of my brain, but yours is probably a lot more organized than that.
This is what goes
That was really
inside his head.
Be afraid, people. Be very afraid.
I know I am. Oh, and just so you can see too, that besides that, remember how I highlighted and dog-eared all the pages in that one book? Todd decided he was going to scribble.
He copied you.
Well, no, he was going through and I don't know if you can see that, but this page in particular, he went to town, and there is one page that I'll get to that you did something really funny. But anyway,
Okay.
but on here, I think this is the little boy is out in the woods and he hears rustling, and he crouches down. He's peering over dead limbs, and out of nowhere, a blinding green light probed through the mist, causing me to shield my eyes. It was radiating from a dark figure holding a large glowing lens. Beads of sweat dripped from my forehead. I remained still until the figure passed by without noticing my presence. Whew, that was close. Taking a deep breath, I suddenly wondered how long it had been since I changed my socks. Something stunk to high heaven. Now it was really time to get out of here. I started to get up just as a large creature brushed past the back of my legs. But that thing about something stung to high heaven, the kid had just been scared. And I was wondering, was he that scared? Sorry.
I never thought about it. We could have gone in that direction. That would have been so fun.
He had to go back to Nimrod and change.
Oh, Grandpa Bob was all over that.
Sorry,
what are you doing?
We'll collaborate on the next one.
Next time.
I read that. I was dying.
We'll have to run it through you first.
Yeah.
Let me find all the weird stuff that people will take wrong.
Yes, you can be our editor.
Oh.
I really loved that was true. I really loved all of the just sort of the supporting characters, in the story, and comparing you to Dickens now, you guys are able to draw characters really quickly and really well. I think that GB, Grandpa Bob, right, and Winsong, they're very evocative characters. They really kind of come through quickly, and it's so nice how they sort of support the kids. To kind of let it was almost sort of a Mr. Rogers thing. To kind of let them do their thing, let children, and recognize how smart children can be, and figuring things out. And so I thought it was a great message, and all the characters, of course Ranger Rick is the ranger you love to hate. He's a big old jerk face, right?
Yeah.
But the other characters like the Buckleys crack me up every time. Mrs. Buckley can never get anybody's name right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really good time.
And I'm not going to say who it is in the book, but somebody wins the Ms. Space Debris contest. So you talk about the Sputnik Fest too, which ties
that's
in.
right. Yeah.
Which ties in really, really good with this. Oh, and I did want to say too, thank you for plugging Kites Over Lake Michigan. And and actually, if you read this book, you'll know exactly when it happens every year. So I mean, that was just really, really nice. I like the fact that Ranger Rick, because I don't like that man at all. I'm glad to hear he got tied up in the outhouse. And then
Outhouse.
what?
That's not an outhouse.
It's
It was a pump house. But
What did I
There
say?
again,
Outhouse.
another good idea.
I know, let's change it.
it's a minor edit here. We'll just kind of cross that out.
That would have been funny.
Oh my gosh, I am really sorry.
I love it.
My typing's not so good. So, and then I wanted to just ask you, at the very end, it says in memory of Ollie the pig. What happened to Ollie the pig?
He just is deceased. It was someone in our writers group. She invites us over to her house for Christmas.
Okay.
And she told us about all of her little animals. She has cats and running all over big dogs. And then she goes, and I have a really big pig. Do you want to see it? And we're like, oh my gosh, yeah. And we go to the barn, and I don't know how big he is, but he's a monster.
Okay, really?
He's a monster. And then when we went there for the party, like 2 years after that, where's Ollie? And she had to tell us that he had died.
Oh,
So
no.
it's in memory of him.
Oh, that's
we were
sweet.
trying to come up with a name for the pig, and,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Debbie just threw Ollie right there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, remember? That was Allison's pig. We have to
That's
name him Ollie.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a nice way to immortalize him
I
there.
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because I've been having such a great time reading the book, and then I got sad at the end. So thank you very much.
Oh.
And one question I do have for you, we have a lot of questions for you, is have you personally had any experiences where you've seen something you can't quite explain?
When I was about 16, I woke up in the middle of the night and it was really bright in my bedroom. And I got up and looked out the window and the whole sky was lit up. And it lasted for about 5 minutes, like it was daytime.
Whoa.
And then it went back dark again and I went back to sleep. And the next day I went to school and I'm asking the kids, did anybody see the sky light up? And nobody saw it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
But I thought, what was that about?
It was just you. And where did you grow up?
In Manitowoc.
You did? Okay.
Okay.
All right. You know, because I know I had one experience years ago. Where I was standing out on my front porch and all of a sudden, just meandering through the air down the sidewalk, it went straight in line with the sidewalk, was a glowing, it was a glowing orb. It was kind of a bricky, rusty, orangey color. And it was a good size, but the thing was just coming along. It took it probably a good 2 minutes to go the entire length, but it would go way up in the air and then it would come down and, you know, and of course my husband and other people were like, it's swamp gas. And I'm like, oh, no. This thing was traveling in a specific direction. And so, you know, and then there's been some things that have happened here in the gallery, especially when we were doing remodeling, that, you know, it makes you wonder. When it comes to like UFOs, I've seen some things, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, there's an explanation. They haven't been just so different that it would really make me, you know, wonder about it. So, but swamp gas,
I don't think so.
never trust anyone that tells you something's swamp gas. So, and I know you have a lot of questions for them.
Oh, well, I think we've been covering quite a lot, but yeah, I mean, I think I did have some questions. This is an evil question to ask because it's like asking you to choose between your children. Who was your favorite character to write?
I would say Ranger Rick
I
for
would
me.
say
Really?
Okay.
He's pretty much based on
He's based on
Barney Fife.
Oh,
I mean,
Oh,
I
he's kind of
picture
Barney
Barney
Fife.
Fife when I'm writing
Just
his
kind of being a
lines.
doofus
Yeah.
type of.
Yes,
Okay,
but you know, you
yeah.
say that, you know, he's a jerk, and
yeah,
but you know,
mean.
I love him.
but he's kind of
Yeah,
hilarious.
You know, you gotta
yeah,
accept him
yeah.
for who he is, and honestly, sometimes we don't even know what he's gonna do next. We're like,
Okay.
he's kind of taking over, like,
Yeah, well, you know, some of the antagonists, they are kind of fun.
right, and you have
Yeah.
to have them
Yeah.
to make
Right.
a good story.
Right.
So
And-
he fits in perfectly.
And he, like you had said one of his zingers earlier. The one that stuck out for me was he's talking to Forrest at the end. And he says, "That's enough out of you, Illinoisans." Right?
Oh yeah, yep,
Yeah.
they're from Chicago.
Because
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
He
hysterical.
doesn't like outsiders.
You know, and I mean Ranger Rick, I mean he's got his purpose in life, but he just can be so mean. And what kind of upset me was the fact that after they rescued him, you'd think his attitude would have changed a little bit.
But we couldn't do that, could we, Kate?
I wanted to make
Kate
a
wanted
change.
to make
Everyone
him become
allowed
nice,
it.
and I said, you can't because
No,
we still need
sure.
him
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
my books. And I recalled watching, what movie was that? I was watching Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks
Oh.
played Walt Disney,
Yeah.
and she
Oh,
was
yeah.
the antagonist, and they wanted to make her book into a movie. And she was kind of like Ranger Rick and very stubborn and difficult to work with.
Right.
And she never gave that up, even at the end when she cried at the filming of the movie. And they caught that, like, oh, you got touched or whatever. She would not give in. She said, no, that's not why I'm crying. I'm crying because it's so terrible, or whatever it was she said.
Right,
But
right.
it's like, so we're
Yeah.
gonna have Ranger Rick have a little something. You see his heart's melting, but he would never admit it.
Okay.
So now we can keep going, and
Okay.
I think that's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
Well,
keep
and it
him
is, and I
little
had-
edge to him. Yeah.
And I totally get it, but I
Yeah.
was like, he had this opportunity to train these wonderful little kids. I mean, now they were hellions. Yeah, you know.
But they're not.
Go
They're good
look at them.
kids.
They're good kids, and it's like, you are just so cruel. So you grew up in Manitowoc, and have you lived there all your life?
I have been trying to escape for many years now, but yes, we're still there.
Okay.
No,
All
it's
right.
not bad. No, just I want warmer temperatures and palm trees.
Oh yeah, I totally
Eventually.
get it. And then you live out in Branch, and how many kids do you have?
I have 3, my husband has 3.
Okay, so you're busy, and
That's
that's
a Brady
how you
bunch
stay
there.
thin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 and 3 is 6. Okay.
Last I checked,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now, Debbie, do you have any kids?
4 children, 3 grandchildren, and 5 children in Uganda that my husband and I sponsor, and they're our kids. We love them.
How long have you been sponsoring?
Since 2012.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's been fun.
So
That's
great.
wonderful.
So I had another question. So about your writing, so you mentioned there's a writers group that you're involved with. Can you tell us a little bit about your process, like when you guys are collaborating together and writing? You know, like how is
It's
there like a
messy.
division of labor, or kind of like what happens there? Yeah.
I think we kind of start with a theme, and we do research and see what happened in the area that could relate to the theme, and then I like to outline, drop some kind of a plot,
And I don't.
Debbie likes to mess it up.
I read by the seat. I never know what I'm going to say next. But we go back and forth for months. We're highlighting red if we don't like what the other one wrote. Blue if let's have him say this instead. And by the time we're done, it looks like a coloring book.
Okay.
But it's funny because Kate, I think, is more of a younger writer, and I'm an adult writer.
Okay.
So we have to find common ground and write for teenagers. And
Okay.
somehow it works.
Well, maybe that's where the magic comes in, because some of the humor is more, I don't want to say it's adult humor because that just doesn't sound right, but it's more something that he and I are just going to get a chuckle out of.
Yeah.
And it's probably a younger person would too, but I think maybe us more so, you know?
It feels like the good mix, because it's kind of in the same way like the Warner Brothers cartoons. Like kids could laugh their heads off at them, but adults get a little bit of a different level. Yeah, so it's kind of fun to see that.
All right, so now, book 4. Do you have an idea as to what you're going to write about?
We talked about the ghost idea.
Ah,
Because there is so much, local history with that
a
too.
lot of ghost lore around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a good story over at the fishing village I heard about.
Oh, in that.
Some of these, like they thought it was one of the captains came in and was kind of asking about the ships and stuff. Yeah.
And that would be a fun one to research.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. So when do you think are you guys going to take a break for a while? And then,
Yeah.
So when do you think you might start back up with the 4th book?
Probably in the fall, winter. We
Okay.
do most of the writing in the winter.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. That
Mhm.
probably helps the winter go by a little quicker too.
Yeah.
Gives you a little purpose and something to keep your mind off of the white stuff that's floating around outside.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Cup of
Yeah.
coffee and sit at that computer and
I think that's
It's a good time.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a John Lennon, Paul McCartney,
Yeah.
synergy
It works.
thing going on here. Like you're talking, your focus is more on the older kids, and yours is on the younger. Because we all have our places in the puzzle, and you guys, just judging by the quality of your stories, you fit together very nicely.
we've been blessed. It works out good. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful.
So now, outside of being authors, what else do you guys do? Or are you involved in any like local organizations or any kind of day jobs or any kind of other work that you do?
Kate's probably busier than I am. What do you do,
Yeah.
Kate? Kate does a lot.
Nothing to brag about.
No, we're going to brag about you.
Nothing to. I just help people clean and do yard work.
Okay.
All different ages, usually older people.
Okay.
So,
Well, plus you guys are really active in church,
All right.
aren't you?
I play it in
With the-
church.
Kate plays the
Organ.
organ.
Okay, because it's Pens of Praise.
Pens of Praise.
Okay.
So it's Christian writing groups. So
Okay.
we have a little.
So it's not really church affiliated. It's
No.
more of a
faith-based.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's really neat. And well, let's put it this way: wives, mothers, full-time job
Yeah.
plus overtime, right there.
Right.
And then we just all do what we can, and it's nice that you have the time to get together. And it's probably kind of your therapy too.
Definitely therapy, yes.
I have to ask: when you guys are writing, are you drinking wine?
No?
Oh, okay.
I'm laughing a lot though. My
Straight
husband will
edge.
come walking in and I'm laughing away. He's like, "It's so funny." And
Okay.
I'm just like, guess what Ranger Rick just said?
Okay, yeah, because that thing about the suspenders, I was like, oh, that sounds like Chardonnay to me. No, I'm kidding.
If we do romance novels, we'll start drinking wine.
Okay.
That's good.
Right now it's just Kool-Aid and soda. Well, wonderful, thank you.
So now, if somebody wants to get your books, where can they find them?
You can find them here,
At Basil Ishkabibbles,
yes,
right?
and across the street at the Red Apple, at the Washington House, at Treasures in Manitowoc, at Point Beach.
And online,
And
Amazon.
online.
And
Right,
on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
which is a great resource. Did you happen, now, when are you guys gonna get more copies?
I brought you some.
You
today.
did? Okay, thank you. We're going out. Come on down. You can get volumes 1, 2, and 3. And I did want to mention too that there is a young girl that I've gotten to know over the past year. She came in last year. She lives out in the Appleton area. Her name is Malila, and her dad like to come out to Two Rivers and go. They go charter fishing. They camp. They are the coolest little duo. They have a tandem bike, and they have a little white poodle who is always in the basket.
God.
So here's this grown man who's
So cute.
tattoos, and he's a fisherman, hunter, and he is so tender and caring about his daughter, and they do everything together. And they came in last year, and she drew me a little picture, and I put it up in the gallery with a not for sale sign on it. And they came in yesterday, and she did bring, and she was 8 years old last year. She just turned 9, and this is what she brought in. And she's giving me the opportunity to display it in the gallery for a week, because she will be back a week from today, and she must have this returned to her. And she told me to take very good care of it. And what I plan on doing, and I will, I think she did a bang up job on this. I love this piece for being, especially just turning 9. And what I plan on doing is that the 3 books that we have read, I'm going to give those to her, and that will give her something too when she's camping, or just whenever she wants to read. But I can just tell she's for her age very mature, and I think that this would fit in just perfectly with where her mind is at.
That's
So
great.
if you don't mind, I'd like to give my books away.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Great.
Okay, so, and perhaps I'll have prints of this for sale. I'm trying to talk them into it, so.
That's really nice.
It is. All right, so do us a favor, keep us updated as to how book number 4 is progressing, and because we would love for you guys to come back,
Sounds great.
and maybe, what about book signings?
What about book signings?
We're doing a book signing August 3rd.
August 3rd?
At Treasures in Manitowoc.
Okay.
And we're doing a presentation for the Historical Society over here on October 27th.
Okay.
So we'll have books there too.
Okay, fantastic. All right, think about maybe having one here. We can make an event out of it. It would be so fun. It would.
Well, again, the name of the book is Mystery at Point Beach, Book 3, Alien Invasion. It's available now. And Kate and Deb, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, well, thank you. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming
Nice to
in.
meet you.
And we will be right back, and we will be listening to the musical stylings of Mr. Paul Vidas and Mr. Tim Clark, better known as Vidas and Clark. So please stay tuned. Welcome back. We are very pleased and privileged to have Vidas and Clark Expedition back with us. They were on, I think it was like maybe our third episode, and this is episode 15. Tonight they are going to be doing original material. And so guys, take it away.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, this is kind of like a bluesy tune. Called Every Night and Every Day. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Enough of that.
That sounded really good.
Thank you.
And these are all originals, huh?
Yep, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll do this one again. This year, this was 4 years in the writing. It started 4 years ago, and I finished it up last week. So again, don't expect much in terms of remembering, but it's for my wife. That's why it took so long. Anything I'm doing for my wife's going to take forever. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. another. So it's true, I'll always be in love with you. Yeah.
I love the lyrics.
Yeah.
That was really, really nice.
We can play it better. Believe me, I can anyway.
I've only been playing it for a week.
Wow. Yeah. This one was again wrote many years ago, and is not as happy as the last one. But that's the way it goes. That's love, you know. It's got its upside and its downside. All right. One, two, three, four.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.